Welcome to Empower Express. In this video, we're going to have a quick tour of the toolbars and see what you get once you get Empower installed onto your system. So the first thing we're going to have a look at is this. You get the ribbon here, Empower, and you get all these toolbars along here. So that's the core of Empower. That's where most of the action happens. The other thing that's really useful to have, which doesn't always come up as default, is this sidebar here. So we'll set that. If you click on Layout Tools on your main toolbar, I click on that, it's going to open up a little side pane here. And then I can see that bar there. And then you can click on this user settings. Let me just move that out of the way. Click on the user settings and say always show sidebar. Tick that to on. And there you have. And then it will stay there. Every time you launch Empower, reboot, or anything, it will always be there. The third thing you get when you set up Empower first of all is this little sync icon. This will be by your clock on your status bar. That could be at the bottom of your screen, top of your screen, side, wherever you have it normally. At first it'll be hidden away probably under this little drop down, so you can just click on it and drag and drop it onto the main area, and then it will stay there all the time. And it's useful because of the way PowerPoint syncs. When it syncs content up into the library in the cloud, it runs on a schedule of 8 hours. So every time you reboot, or if within an 8-hour window, it should run a sync automatically. But sometimes you might want to push it yourself. So every time you put content in, it will automatically sync up. But if somebody else has put content into the library, it won't automatically sync down until that sync runs, or until you click onto this and say sync now. And then you can make sure everything's up to date. So it's very handy to have that little sync icon there as well. So that's the main setup of Empower, all your useful tools. And now we're going to have a very quick look at each of the groups just to see what's where and what's going on. So this first little set here, new, this is where you'll start any new files off. So you'd come to new, click on this, and if your template's been installed into Empower, it'll be in the corporate design area and then master templates. What you'll see here is a set of generic ones, just free ones you can use and do what you like with. Let's move that over there a minute. You'll also have your company folder. And from here, this is where you'll start any new files off. So you'll come and find your template, and then you can just create new presentation. You can also set one of your templates as your default just by right mouse clicking and saying set default master. If you do this, that means every time you open PowerPoint, this will be the file that you will see. So set your company one as your default master, and then it will always be there. So let me close that. So that's starting off a new one. Always start new files off through there. Again, just because then you know you've got the latest up-to-date one, and also it means the design is going to be plugged into Empower and everything will work consistently. The next option here, change template. This is quite useful if you're changing from one style to another, or you've got a file you've opened, say from your local drive, but you want to make sure it is using your Empower template. You can basically apply a template to a file you've already got, whether it's changing styles or whether it's applying an old style. So you click on change template, it opens up the, okay, let me move that, masters here. It's just the same content as we saw before, it's just in this side pane. And then I can go in and I can apply, I'm just going to click onto this slide, let's move that over there. You can select a template. I'm going to select the moment that my current template is using this Empower Corporate, but I'm going to apply this template. So I can just click on it. I can apply it to the whole presentation or just a single slide. In this instance, I'm just going to apply it to one slide so you can see what happens. You can do various in these options. You can kind of make it really overhaul everything. Be slightly aware of resetting all the layouts because odd things will change, but it's useful if you want to kind of do a complete style overhaul. But for now, I'm just going to reapply it, repin it to this template, so I won't click any of those on. I'm just going to select it and then apply it to my slide. And then this should change. Yep, and it's updated to this version with the rainbows, totally different color scheme, and everything else is working well. So that's change template. This next set of tools here, new slide layout and reset, what these do are just normal native PowerPoint functionality, but anytime you start a new slide off, click on new slide and you'll see all your different layouts available. Choose the one that's going to be most appropriate. So for example, if I was doing a graphic like this page here, I've chosen title only, grey background. So I'm going to choose that. So it just gives me a title and a nice part of slide to draw on, play on, or add my content. Under layout, you can change the layout of any existing slide. So here I'm going to say, actually, no, I want one with a placeholder. These boxes are called placeholders, and they are built into the master of your template. put that over there a minute. So it just means it sets all the formats, so you don't have to worry about what size, what font, anything else. The reset is useful if you change anything. So for example, if I'm just going to make this bright red, and bold, let's say, there we go, and I'm going to move it and size it to move that one. So if your slide is all over the place and you want to reset it back to the settings of that layout, to put the title back, the placeholder back to the size and position, then this is where you would just sit on the slide you want and then reset it, and everything goes back to the way it should be. Sometimes you'll want to use that, sometimes you won't. You might want that to be red, but that's what it does. This next set of tools, text and colour, these look and behave very much like the normal PowerPoint ones, with some little changes. So for example, bold is just bold. Some of these tools are just normal PowerPoint tools, just here for ease of use. But other ones, for example, my font drop down doesn't give me the full normal list you see in PowerPoint. It's giving me just what I'm supposed to be using in this template. Same with the colours. If I click on these, either font, fill or line, it's giving me my colours for my which actually come from my template anyway, but actually it's telling me how to use them. You can add extra colours, you can have as many colours as you want. This all forms part of your design. When we put your template in, we also put these design details in as well, so that you're constraining when you use these tools, you're kind of just pushing people gently down the path of saying, use these colours, use these fonts. We're not enforcing everything. If you go to the normal toolbars back under home, you've got all the normal colours, you've got all the normal fonts if people want to go off brand. But it just means when you're working normally with this toolbar, everything is channeling you down to your brand settings and your design, even down to things like the bullet. If I click on that, it's going to give me my bullet, my square bullet, not the native default round one. So it just sets you off on the path where everything works as it should do. The next part of tools we've got here is this library. This is the actual heart of Empower. If I click on library, we'll see this is our library window. We've got the company library where you save all your content, all your presentations, and you can access, circulate, find all your slides, everything you want to do within your content area. So this is your company library. Your corporate design area, that's the other section here, this one, the corporate design. This is where you've got all the building blocks for building new content. Now, in most of these areas, you'll have generic ones. So these are the ones that come free with PowerPoint. There's lots of different ones you can use, and they're just free for everybody to use to do what you want with. But you will also have your own company folder in here as well. So you can set up your own design elements, text elements, tables, charts, whatever you want, images, icons that apply just to your style, just to your template, and only you will see those ones. And that's where I think a lot of the lovely settings of Empower come. You've got a whole lovely generic set of resources to use, but actually you can then have within there your own personalized ones that apply just to your template. And that's what makes Empower really, really powerful when you're creating new content. So that's the two areas: company library for your content and the corporate design for creating new content, new slides and presentations. So that's your library piece. Really, that's the heart of it. The other thing you can do in there is the save. So this is where you actually put content into the library. You can put whole presentations, whole books, slides, single objects. And once you select anything or any option, you can then click Save As and then choose where to put it within the library itself as well. One last thing on the library we'll look at very quickly, but I'm not going to cover in much detail just because if you need more detail, there are going to be more videos and help on the different tools in a lot more detail. But when you first open this will be closed up, so you can't see all the options available that you can do within the library. But if you click on that little arrow, you'll see you can do all your normal file management things like cut, copy, paste, rename, delete. You can change your views, you can change your sorts, and all the other more advanced features you can do within here. But that's all accessed once you actually get into your library tool here. But as I say, we won't cover all of that in this session. There are other sessions you can look at. We'll look at that in a lot more detail. Okay, I'm going to close that one. The next set of tools you've got here are Insert, and this is where you can insert lots of these elements we looked at first, or here in the corporate design area: tables, charts, text elements. Okay, so you've got all those here as well. You've also got those elements down here on this sidebar as well for quick access. But those are the same things we were looking at: text elements, charts, images, icons. Also, here you've got an agenda wizard, so you can click on this and create automated agendas that will actually go and structure your presentation and also update them through there. And other things you've got in here, you've got a shapes drop down, which says just the normal PowerPoint tools. It's just here for quick access, so you don't have to go anywhere else. You'll find you'll spend most of your time on the Empower ribbon. Also under more, you've got some nice little smart objects, Harvey balls, traffic lights, checkboxes, stamps. You can link Excel tables and also a nice little symbol, quick symbol access. The next set of tools you've got here are the layout tools. These are wonderful. These are what I call the third part of Empower. The productivity and layout tools. What these will do is give you a whole load of tools that will help you size, position, arrange, all the little detail bits of PowerPoint that are some of them pure PowerPoint just exposed here for quick access, like the margins and the shape sizes and things, like these ones. But they'll also push it a little bit further. So you've got you can copy positions, copy sizes, resize things. So it's all the usual PowerPoint tools, but just pushed a little bit further to make it do a lot more and a lot more quickly and a lot more easily. The next set of tools you've got here are the presentation tools. So these are a lot of some of these more productivity and layout tools as well. You've got things like spell check in different languages. It'll go through and set your whole file. You've got a little tool to send selected slides, either as a PDF or as a PowerPoint. You can save them, just those slides, or drop them straight into an email. That's a really lovely quick tool. The next set you've got here, while it's doing that, is support. So if you need to access any kind of support, ask us a question, just click on this and it'll take you straight to an email to email us any questions, any help you need. Just click on that. There's additional help tools and resources within here as well. And then the final set of tools we've got here are the advanced, what we call the advanced charting tools. So if I click on here, you'll see we've got all of the standard charts, which just, again, they do a lot. There's some nice automated functionality in there, and things like waterfalls as well. And again, there's a separate training module on those. You can have a look at those in a lot more detail. But they're really good. And also the Gantt chart tool. So if you do, it's probably not the best page to do it on. Let's put it on here. So if I click on that one and draw one there. It just gives you project plans really quickly, really easily, and really nice and straightforward to use. And that's, there we go. As you see, that again, there's another module on that if you want to look into how those work and how to work with the Gantt charts. So that's basically the full tool set of Empower. There's, as I said earlier, the sidebar here is just a quick way into a lot of these tools. So, for example, the layout tools is there. There's a lovely design check tool, which again is on the toolbar, but it's also here for quick access. Oops, maybe I shouldn't have pressed that, but actually it's pretty quick. It's gone through this entire presentation and checked, come back and told me what doesn't conform with my design. For example, if I open this one, tell me I've used Arial, which isn't part of my design. I can click on it and see where it's using it. There we go, it's saying it's using it in this shape here. So it allows me to correct it really nicely and quickly. Anyway, so that hopefully has given you just an overview, a very quick overview of what the tools are, what's where, and how you can start getting used to Empower and using all the functionality that's there. Any help, any questions or anything, so just click on the support button and you'll come email straight through to us if you've got any other questions you want to ask. Also, have a look at our support page, and there's more detail on a lot of the tools if you want to see how they work in a bit more depth. Okay, thank you, and enjoy using Empower.